The the Stop Internet Piracy Act, or Stop Online Piracy Act, and the Protect. What are the Stop Online Piracy or the Protect IP Act, PIPA and SOPA. Deanna Zandt is with us. She's a media technologist, strategist, and author of Share This: How You Will Change the World with Social Networking. Website, Deanna, Deanna, Zandt.com. Deanna, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me, Tom.
Thanks for joining us. First of all, the highest profile, basically kind of news I've seen about this is is Ron Wyden trying to stop at least the Protect IP side on the Senate, and being treated by some in the media as kind of a Don Quixote figure. But on this, I think he's right. I mean, I was horrified when he came out the other day and joined with Paul Ryan on Medicare, but on this issue, he's spot on. On the other hand, there's some big people with him, behind him, or associated with trying to stop the Protect IP Act. People like Google, big bucks, giant corporations, giant multi-billion-dollar transnational corporations. So lay out for us the landscape. What the hell's going on here?
Well, it's interesting that you bring up the kind of what is the phrase, uncanny or something bedfellows?
Unholy alliances, strange bedfellows.
Well, I think this is actually some place where people on the left and right actually can find some common ground, because everybody agrees that things like censorship are a bad idea, privacy, things like that are important. So what's happening with SOPA is, like you're right, you mentioned it, that it stands for the Stop Online Piracy Act, and it's a bill that's moving through the House right now that is, in effect, going to broaden the powers of the Department of Justice and copyright holders to do terrible things to people who violate copyrights. And that can be anything from somebody using a song in their homemade YouTube video that they made for their friends, up to streaming movies and television illegally from services outside of the U.S. and all kinds of stuff.
Right.
And that's actually the problem that most people have with this bill, is that the language of the bill is so unbelievably broad that it can be pretty easily abused right away from any number of sources. And what we're most worried about is that it really does threaten the actual architecture of how the Internet works now. Right now, the Internet itself as a technology isn't aware of content. This is the same argument that we have with net neutrality issues. It isn't aware of what that content is. All it knows is these are some bits and bytes, and we're passing them along. And this would, in effect, do is start regulating what content is okay to be passed through these pipes and what content is not okay. And that could deal a crippling blow to the Internet.
Well, isn't there already a certain amount of that, in that there are laws against child porn, for example? And I was over the weekend. My son was telling me that I've noticed here in D.C. that while I pay one of the big providers I buy 5 MIPS, 5 megabytes per second of download time. They always throttle it at 2 whenever Louise goes to Netflix. And I mean, she was, before our flight, she was from, I think it was iTunes. She was trying to download a movie, and it wouldn't let it go faster than 2, even though we're paying for 5. And I was discussing it with my son, and he said, well, that's because they've got to do deep packet inspection because they're looking for child porn. And I said, I think that's their excuse. What they're really trying to do is restrict bandwidth so that they can make more money.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you.
But they have that law. Do they not?
Yeah, they actually, and also as far as, the whole piracy argument to this, this is actually what the main argument is for people who are proponents of this bill, is to stop online piracy, on online theft of content.
Right.
And the problem with piracy is it's sort of like whack-a-mole. You're always going to be kind of smacking down one thing or another that's cropping up, and you're never actually going to be able to stop it in the way that we're thinking about it right now. And the rest of us are ending up being kind of casualties in this war and what we're allowed to do and not do.
Let's talk a real-life example here. For example, at thomhartmann.com, I post a blog. I write my stuff. I mean, it's original content. However, people can comment on those things, and people can create their own blogs, or they can create their own messages. So if somebody comes onto my website and they comment on something that I said, or they create, an original thread, and they quote something that's copyrighted,
right?
Who does the FBI come after? Me, right?
Likely you, yes.
Yeah, because it's my website. And now, on the other hand, if I was to say, okay, screw this, I'm going to move to Finland and do my radio show from there and run my website from there, then the FBI couldn't come after me because somebody posted some copyrighted content, even though anybody in the United States, it would look like it was the exact same website. Right. How does this make any sense?
This is where the internet is blurring kind of national boundaries that in many ways don't make sense anymore, but that are hard to create rules and jurisdictions for. And on top of that argument that you're making right now about moving to another country is actually the argument that big businesses and venture capitalists are actually making from the pro-business end of the spectrum, is that a lot of people have said, well, we'll just move out of the U.S. and do our own thing.
Right. And so really Google moves to Taiwan or something.
Yeah, you never know. If those kinds of rules come down and make it impossible for technologists to continue to innovate and create these amazing services. And for the everyday user, too, I mean, one of the examples that I've been using when I've been explaining this issues in lectures and workshops is that if you're on Facebook and people have been posting a lot of those kind of funny images, and sometimes they have celebrities and they have text and stuff, or they have a picture of the Enterprise from Star Trek or something amusing like that.
With a thought balloon next to the person saying something silly. Yeah.
And they're hilarious, and everybody loves them, except for the fact that now would be illegal to share or to create.
And for that matter, if somebody posted on my website or on Facebook, any other website, posted some copyrighted information, and you downloaded it and stored it on your hard drive,
yes,
then the FBI could come after you too.
It could very well be. And the interesting
So it turns us into a nation of criminals by accident.
Right. And we have also already in place a certain amount of copyright protection in the U.S. There is the Digital Copyright Millennium Act, which isn't perfect and is still kind of infuriating in a lot of ways, but you'll see sometimes on YouTube, for example, somebody posts a video with a song and they don't have permission to use that song. And they'll see this video has been taken down because of the DCMA, and there's already stuff in place that is largely also very imperfect and doesn't work right.
So this is a solution without a problem.
Yeah, well, it's also, we're thinking about content online, and not to get too metaphorical, but we're thinking about content online in a way that is still very much rooted in the industrial way of producing and marketing and selling things. And digital content just doesn't operate this way. And we have to rethink what we consider intellectual property and the value of collaboration and sharing and remixing is unbelievable. I mean, those cultures are creating an incredible amount of good stuff, and especially, this also applies to political activists and all kinds of stuff.
Thomas Jefferson, when he was in 1787, and when Madison, his protege, was writing the Constitution, he wrote a long letter to him saying there should be no copyright laws, there should be no trademarks. He called them monopolies in commerce. There should be none, and it should be one of the Bill of Rights. He wanted it in the Bill of Rights. Because he said, every man who creates something stands on the shoulders of a man before him, the phrase of the day, women before as well, who created something else. Everything is derivative. Anyhow, Deanna Zandt at DeannaZandt.com. Thank you, Deanna.